Hi everybody, welcome to Footy Life and Property with Rob, Rach and Millie. So here we provide the best in sports, lifestyle and real estate advice to help you make the most informed decisions and get the most out of life. So whether you're a die-hard footy fan like the two of us, tragics,
Yes.
home buyer looking for the perfect property, or just looking for some helpful tips and tricks, you'll find it here. So kick back, relax and let us give you a few laughs, and hopefully you'll find a few nuggets in our little piece we're going to deliver this afternoon.
Yes, we will. We've had a few nuggets this week between our 7-month-old granddaughter. She was certainly providing us with nuggets of joy, wasn't she?
Yes, she was on Sunday, yes.
Yes, so, the footy, we're getting into the season now. We're going to talk about, would you believe, St George. Yeah, we know there's a couple of things that a lot of people don't know about St George. I'm going to leave that up to Rach, since he's a St George tragic. Like most people who follow St George, they are tragic.
Oh, get over yourself, Elliot, seriously.
But they are one of the most successful sides. And then we're going to delve into...
No. Not one of the most successful side running around in the comp. Look at our history.
They were the side that perfected buying a competition, but we'll get into that later.
Whatever.
We're also going to look at one of the suburbs that come under the St George Dragons football team, because they've got lots of suburbs in lots of parts of Sydney and Wollongong. We're going to look at one of them, but let's get into it, Rach. Your beloved Dragons.
Yes, the mighty Red V. The Mighty Dragons. So I was going to give you some little history of the club, because I love this part of our segments that we've been doing, and I've been learning so much more about the teams. I originally thought the St George were a foundation club, but they're not.
You mean like my club are?
Yeah, like Western Suburbs, who are a foundation club.
Yes.
So St George actually didn't come into the comp until 1920.
Oh, late.
Yes, that's when they were formally invited by the New South Wales Rugby League to form, at the expense of Annandale, to come into. They formed St George District Rugby League Football Club.
They did.
It's officially formed on the 8th of November in 1920. We played our first premiership match in 1921.
Yes.
A 4-3 loss to Glebe at the Sydney Sports Ground, which is probably the old SCG.
No, the sports ground is now Allianz Stadium.
Oh, there you go. Something new I didn't know.
Yes.
But we have been the most successful team in our history.
Yeah.
So with 15 premierships spanning across 78 years, but no more so than the 11 consecutive grand finals, premierships, won between 1956 and 1966.
True.
Before I was born. I didn't live through the golden era. But such was our success during that period that no less than 4 players, so Reg Gasnier, Johnny Raper, Graham Langlands and Norm Proven are now Rugby League immortals. So you'll see behind us, there is a jersey which is split between Western Suburbs and St George. This is the Gladiator match of 1963. And this is where the base of the cup that the teams hold every year. This is how it started. So it was a match, just mud. Pure mud. The ground was mud, on the footage that I have seen. And it was a clash of 2 gladiator teams coming together. St George did win.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
But it is, if you have not watched this game, if you can get hold of it and watch the footage, it's classic. Classic.
Yeah, it is. It is a classic game.
It's a classic game, yeah. So, I do care that we do win.
But St George haven't had a lot of success over the last 20 years. Considering how successful they were before.
No, we haven't been that successful. I've spent many a grand final with my head buried in a cushion because I was either going to scream or say a profanity or throw something at the TV.
Now let's just hang on a minute there. I'm going to go back many years. There is a rumour going around Cogra that when this young lass beside me
you can hold that story because I just want to finish the history of St George first. And then you can tell that story.
Okay.
And this will tell you how much of a tragic I actually am with St George. So we did merge with the Illawarra Steelers ahead of the 1999 NRL season.
End of Super League and all that.
End of Super League, yeah. So I won't really talk about too much about the Illawarra Steelers because they are no more. We took them over. They're all wearing the red and white. So if you're an Illawarra Steelers fan, you might think totally different, but too bad, so sad. So anyway, I just want to talk about some immortals that came out of St George that I was able to actually see. So Mark Coyne, Ricky Walford. I remember being pregnant with our second child at Cogra, jumping up and down. Friends thought I was jumping that much. I was going to give birth. Didn't.
They lost, didn't
they? They did lose.
Yeah, nearly gave birth, but in a different way.
Lose. So the current coach is Anthony Griffith and our current captain is Ben Hunt. So we've only played 4 games. We've had a bye. We're sitting 10th on the ladder. We're actually going to play the Titans again already on Sunday, which is a bit bizarre to me. We did beat the Dolphins on the weekend, so that was a good game. We got thumped by the Broncos.
Everyone gets thumped by the Broncos.
We have been up and down, so we really need to hit our straps. You know, we are coming into the 5th round. We need to make sure, actually the 6th round we're coming into. We really need to sort out what's going on in the team dynamics. So you can tell your story now, Rob.
Well, you did buy a jersey one year.
Who
was one of your favourite players? Little short fat guy that
wasn't fat.
Well,
stocky.
Stocky. Now he was playing for St George at the time. He used to play for Pennant.
He did.
And you went into Peter Wynn's score in Parramatta.
I did.
Which is known as the best rugby league.
Haven't been back there since.
Store in the whole of Sydney. And asked for a St George jersey. What happened next?
So I was a huge Jamie Soward fan. So I never had a St George jersey. So we rocked up to Peter Wynn's store in Parramatta, had Soward put on the back of my jersey. I've only worn it once. Since then. I've never worn it to a game. And the lady was saying to me, but Jamie's going to leave St George. And I went, oh no, my Jamie would not leave St George.
2 weeks later?
2 weeks later, they announced he'd actually signed elsewhere. I was devo. That jersey stayed in the cupboard. And I thought I brought it out once, maybe we were in another grand final, but I won't wear it out in public because it's got Sal on the back of it.
Yeah. Oh well. Too bad, so sad, as you say.
So now I have my St George shirt that I do wear.
Yes.
If I wear my jersey, I wear it at home. But that's it.
Oh well, you know. It was only Jamie Soward.
Life moves on. Whatever, Elliot. Anyway, so because we are covering St George, we thought we would talk about a particular suburb because, as Rob said earlier, that the St George area is quite large, realistically. So, because it takes in the old Illawarra Steelers fan base, which is the beautiful Gong. So we thought we'd talk about Wollongong today.
So Wollongong, for those who don't know, Wollongong, you will hear about it a lot, and St George do play half the home games down there next to the water. It is an hour and a half south of Sydney. And as we mentioned last week, it was called the Ugly Duckling for many years, and people didn't want to move there, didn't want to go anywhere near the place.
Well, it was a steelworks town.
It was South Wollongong, yeah. It was where the home of Bluescope Steel. Oh, wow. You can't get anywhere down there now for under $1 million in most of the suburbs. It is the absolute most beautiful area of Wollongong, but it's massive. We're just going to talk about actually Wollongong, the suburb. Wollongong, the suburb, is where St George play these days. There's only 18,500 people live in a very small area called Wollongong with a lot of high density units and a lot of high density houses.
I would call it Wollongong City.
It is a city.
Yeah, but I would call it, the area that you were particularly talking about today, I would call that Wollongong City. And
it's got city prices. I mean, a 4-bedroom home in Wollongong is $1.9 million. That's the median price. A unit is, in all honesty, it's just under $700,000. But the interesting thing is, 60% of the people there are single and 66% are renters. And people work out what happens. Well, what's that mean? I mean, you can rent a house there for $750, but you're renting a unit for $500. So if you're buying a unit there for investment, you're getting a better rate of return than the houses. What people don't realise is Wollongong is on the water. Wollongong is next to one of the top universities in the whole of Australia. Wollongong University is massive, it's huge. And up the road from that is a technology centre, which is like a high-tech university. So people actually fly in from all over the world to go to Wollongong Uni. It's got brilliant beaches, it's got fantastic restaurants. You can be on a train in Sydney in just about an hour and 15 minutes. But why would you want to go to Sydney when you've got fantastic nightlife, fantastic beaches, and a great way of living? I mean, they are beautiful and clean. You can go down the south coast, you can go north. It really is a hidden jewel, unless you live down there or go down there, and they'll tell you straight up, they don't want anyone going there.
Well, we always go there. We're 40 minutes travelling from where we live in the Macarthur area. And there are beaches.
Yeah.
If we were to go to the beach, that's where we go, and we would pop down to Wollongong just to get an ice cream.
Yeah, that's how nice it is.
During the summer. So you would go to the Cold Rock, and then you would take a walk along down where the fish
The trawlers are.
The trawlers are. Yeah, walk along there. It's just beautiful. Like, there's a nice park full of families. It's a great area. But
be under no illusion, if you're on a seaside unit, it's the same price as the Goldie. You're looking at $1 to nearly $2 million. They have the most uninterrupted, magnificent views, both north and south. They really are to die for. It is beautiful. It started quite low because people didn't want to go there. You could pick up places really cheap.
I don't think it wasn't because people didn't want to go there. I just think people had... It's like most places that have been known as this, that when it develops over time, the perception doesn't change.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not that people didn't want to go there. People had the perception that it was still a steelworks town. It was still what it was 20 and 30 years ago, whereas Wollongong has actually grown and developed so much that it really is very metropolitan outside of the city.
Look, once a lot of people from Sydney discovered Wollongong and took the time to go down, we all knew living out here what a beautiful place it was. But when the Sydney people found out that they could buy a unit on the beach an hour and a half from Sydney without having to travel 3 and 4 and 5 hours away, they started to buy up. And that's what fueled the prices. And it is a magnificent place, a good place to invest, a good place to raise your family. You can go just south of it, you've got a place called Shell Harbour. Now, Shell Harbour was an old harbour. It was actually an oil refinery down there where they used to transfer the petrol in. If you go to Wollongong and you've got a little bit of time, you go down another 45 minutes south and they've built a purpose-built harbour in Shell Harbour with units, called Shell Cove, with units, with a hotel, with restaurants. You can actually, if you live on the water in Sydney, take your boat out, go all the way down the south coast and park your boat there. So Wollongong itself, the whole city and the whole area is something really to be looked at. And really, if you're coming to Sydney, even if you're visiting, take the time to come down and drive the beautiful road that goes along the escarpment over the water. Yeah, visit some of the pubs and some of the restaurants.
I was going to say that with the redevelopment of Sir Lawrence Hargrave Drive, that really, because that's a beautiful drive. If you're coming from Sydney, then it's magnificent because you are driving on the water virtually. And I think that probably has really opened up people who actually do live in Sydney would come down on a Sunday and have a look at how beautiful those areas are. The rural Ostermere, like those little hamlets coming down into Wollongong, are just magnificent.
You can nearly say that now St George and Illawarra could split back again and they could have their own football side. No,
I won't go there.
Won't go there?
No, just like West Tigers, Rob. Not going to happen.
Well, the Tigers don't exist anymore. We're saying both.
We are digressing. We will leave the Tigers for another day when they've actually won a game.
So let's have an update on Nana and Granddaughter Part 3. We started with the broken lolly jar, and then we had Rachel nuked
I didn't nuke it. I put it in the dishwasher.
And it melted. But we all know they call them the terrible twos. I think we're about to call it the terrifying fours.
Yes.
The 4-year-olds can be emotional. They can be stubborn.
Yeah, like grandfathers.
Like grandfathers. Okay, well, fair enough. And they've learnt the art. Now, Nana and Pop will probably agree here of playing one off against the other.
Try to.
But our little other granddaughter, who is 7.5 months, cannot speak, but gives great side eye.
Oh no, she yabbers.
She yabbers, makes no sense.
Yabbers, yeah.
But she has the most amazing expression. So when her older sister's going off, she'll be sitting on my nap, she'll look at her older sister, look at me, look at Nana, look at her as if to say, what the hell is she going on about?
Yeah, she does give great side eye.
She does. So as a Nana, what tip could you give to the other Nanas out there around the 4-year-olds and how emotional and how they can play off one against the other?
Don't budge. I don't negotiate.
No, you don't.
I don't negotiate. No, I've come to the point that no is definitely no. There's none of this. If you behave, there's none of that.
So you're like the Wayne Bennett of Nanas.
Maybe.
Don't negotiate. You do what you're told, and you'll get in the team.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did say that I would take back what I had bought from her on Sunday. I was going to take it back to the store and refund it. So she never got it.
No.
We shall see what she's like when she arrives here on Thursday.
That could be interesting, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it could be very interesting. Stay tuned.
So, biggest question of the week, your fourth side or third side? The Dolphins.
Yes.
2 up, 2 down?
Yes.
How do you reckon they're going to go?
No, riding the roller coaster.
Riding the roller coaster?
Riding the roller coaster.
Do you agree now with the expansion? Do you think it's a good thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Second team in Brisbane's important?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I just don't think that, Brisbane's very different to the Gold Coast. Like, people who live on the Gold Coast were never going to be Broncos supporters. It's the areas are completely different, and I just think that area is big enough to sustain the 3 teams. Would have been good if we had been able to put a team in that middle part of Queensland, that Rocky to Gladstone, maybe Mackay district.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where, potentially they could have expanded to. I don't think Perth is the right place. I think what will happen is what happened again during the Super League. It's the tyranny of distance. But it's a travel for the teams to get there and for them to get here. I just don't know how they would do that, and whether or not there's a big enough supporter base that's going to actually guarantee the success of any team over there. So it's a very big AFL town, cricket,
rugby.
union. I just don't know where the rugby league actually fits into it. I don't think with Melbourne. Again, it's an AFL town. Melbourne Storm have been, I won't say lucky. They've really worked at their supporter base they've got.
That's true.
But they've also been very successful. They've built an incredible football team and won premierships. And that brings supporters. So
if they don't start winning, they may see their supporter base drop, just like every other side.
Potentially, but they're going through a period of renewal like every other team. So they're still a hot side. I would never discount the Storm.
So the West Tigers have been going through a period of renewal for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, since 2005.
Yeah, I know.
But we're not talking about the West Tigers because they will get their day. They will get their moment to shine or not shine.
Hope so.
When the spotlight is on them. But anyway, so regardless of what team you follow, if you have got a question for us with regards to property, whether with regards to what's happening in our particular lives or with regards to footy, drop us a line at lansdownepropertygroup.com.au.
Yep.
Send us an email. Our contact details are on our webpage. You can contact us through Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram.
Yes, we can.
Yep. So, or put a comment here on our YouTube page, and if you like it, give it a share. We'd love to.
Love some more followers.
We'd love some more followers. We absolutely would. Yeah. So we enjoy doing it. We enjoy talking about footy,
Yeah.
having a bit of banter. So yeah, we're hoping to get to Canberra at the end of the month. So
Yes, we will be.
Yeah, go out to Brist Stadium and have a look. And we unfortunately won't be able to get to a game now because the timings of what we're down there for and how long we are there for. We are looking forward to going across to NZ this year to actually watch a game and do our podcast from there. And looking forward to going to Magic Round in Brisbane. Cannot wait.
Might even do a live cross from Brisbane.
You know what we could do?
From the game.
If we find a quiet spot. If you've been to Magic Round,
You can't find one.
no, there's no such thing as a quiet spot.
No, that's true. But that's all part of the fun. So
yes.
if anyone out there hasn't been to Magic Round, I can guarantee you it's a lot of fun. You'll enjoy yourself. You don't even have to be watching your own team to enjoy the game.
No, because we were fortunate on the weekend that we were there, so we actually got to see West play on the Friday night. But we actually enjoyed just meeting all these other supporters from around Queensland, having a bit of banter with them, but watching really good football, and just the atmosphere was incredible. Yeah. So we're looking forward to doing that again in May, and hopefully we might run into some of you there.
So that's a wrap from me.
Yep. Peace out from me, guys.
Have a groovy week, guys. Ciao.
Cheers.